Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Welcome to today's masterclass. We are honored to have a distinguished speaker with us, someone whose expertise and insights are sure to make this session both enlightening and inspiring. I'm delighted to introduce Ms. Uma Rao, CHRO, Granules India Limited. I request Dr. Varun to welcome our keynote speaker. Over to you, sir.
Okay, great. Thank you, ma'am. It's been a pleasure again to see you. So if I talk about this esteemed personality, you will be amazed to know she is having more than 30 years of experience in human resource. She has managed companies' vision, mission, value, and critical projects and assignments in multiple sectors. You can name it as pharma, auto, IT, petroleum, or even manufacturing. She has done wonder in all these sectors and has given a path for the betterment of this organization. Currently, ma'am is a CHRO at Granules India Limited, a company which is having its global presence. It's a pharmaceutical company having global presence in almost 75 countries. Ma'am has multiple awards and honors like 30 Women Super Achiever Award, the 100 Most Influential HR Leaders, HR Powerhouse by ET World, and member board of director of Gulf Estee Motor Limited. So I believe these awards, this privilege shows that we have one of the esteemed personality, which is going to give a lot of information to us, and will be in a different zone of world after having such a you can say conducive information. Coming to ma'am's educational background, she has done MA degree in PM and IR from Tata Institute of Social Sciences and has completed the Global Advanced Management Program from Northwestern University, Kellogg Schools of Management. If we talk about the speaking proficiency, she is highly proficient even in a Portuguese language other than our local language. So I believe it's an honor for Chitkara University, Chitkara Center for Continuing Education to have you with us. And for next, you can say 40 to 50 minutes, we would love to have knowledge from your side. And I believe our learners, they are going to be at a different zone, different level after having your thought process. Over to you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Varun and the team here from Chitkara and all the people who are online today. It's a privilege to be here with all of you. And I always enjoy, being with the students because they bring a certain kind of energy, which is infectious almost, I would say. So I think it's absolute privilege to be here, and thank you very much for having me over. I'm sure they're listening to many people at different times, and everybody is probably an expert in their own ways in what they are doing. I think today the word expert doesn't exist because we all have to be learning human beings, and we have to keep learning all the time.
Yes, sir.
So yeah, so I'm very selfish when I accept these kind of invites, because more than others learning, actually I learn a lot at the end of the day. So I think I consider it my privilege and my honor to be here today, and thank you very much once again. Right? Okay. So before I start, I just want to tell you that the topic that I have picked up today is on employer branding in the age of social media. Okay, this is the topic that I have picked up because I believe you have already done some bit on talent acquisition, etc. And I didn't want to therefore repeat that. But if there is any input required on that later, I am happy to do that. So today I have picked up this topic so that you get a little more information and some kind of I would say a foresight about how this whole subject works in today's times. Today's times are very critical. They are very it's not easy for companies, let me put it like this, to hang around and do business in today's times, because unlike in the past, information flow is happening so quickly. Anything that you do or don't do both of it goes out in the open domain very quickly. And it is very difficult thereafter to manage any damage or to create a new environment that happens. Okay. I'm not sure whether some of you were big enough by the time when some years back, Coca-Cola had a big problem, about their reputation, because somebody brought up this whole thing in the media saying that it contains some kind of acids and things like that, which is very bad for human consumption. Okay, another example which some of you may be aware of is also Maggi noodles, which went up some years back saying that this is extremely bad. And, anybody who's consuming this is, literally dying. This is a kind of impression that they had created. And these things, takes a lot of time for organizations to come to terms with, to improve their situation back, because you see all their products are grocers. Coke, think about it. How much consumption of Coke happens all over the world? And in India, today, India is the biggest market for any company to come and do business here. It's a huge economy. Nobody wants to leave India, because if they do business successfully in India, it is like doing business in 10, 15, 20 countries. Okay. And therefore, nobody wants to leave India. But when things like this happen, then, the impact is also very, very high on these companies. And therefore, it's not very easy to do this business in this kind of an environment. And that is what I think makes it very risky for organizations to work, as much as we think that, today organizations have more opportunity to talk about themselves than ever before. Yeah. So I'm saying it's like a double-edged sword. You can make mileage out of what is available, but you will also have to pay a very heavy price, assuming something goes wrong. Yeah. And that's the delicate balance which companies are facing today. Yeah. I have got a small presentation, Dr. Varun. If it is okay, I would like to share that and take the people through this. And later on, I'm happy to share it also with you. You can circulate it to the students. So without further ado, I will try and take you through what I think is employer branding in the age of social media, right? Okay. So what is employer branding? Let's talk about that for a minute. Employer branding is an approach, as you can see here. It's an approach by an organization to promote themselves as desirable employers. Why do you have to do it? Because you want to attract and retain top talent. It involves a positive and distinctive employer image and reputation that you can develop. And it can influence how potential candidates, employees, and even public perceive the company as a place of work, right? So today, for example, when I hire people, for years I have been seeing this recent years, people do a lot of checking around. It's not just checking around with somebody who's been there and all that, but they do more than that. They say, okay, what kind of company is it? How do they treat people? What is the culture? What are the perks and benefits you get? Do they fire people here? Is there a long-term career possible? Can I grow here? Do youngsters grow? Can old people grow? Like, depending on who is trying to look for a job, everybody looks at these aspects. Okay, so there are these nice websites now available which talk about companies. Does anybody know which websites give you some insights on companies? Can somebody just put up on the chat there if you know? Which kind of organizations talk about the reputation of a company? If you know it, fine. Otherwise, there's no problem. But is there?
No, ma'am.
Yeah.
No, ma'am, we don't know. If you tell us, I'll be happy.
Okay, no problem. So there is something called Ambition Box. That's a website which gives you, insights about company. There is Indeed.com. They give you some insights about the company. Glassdoor. They also give some insights about the company. Yeah, so I think some of you are reading. LinkedIn, yes, But these other ones that I talked about actually give you the rating and ranking of one CEO. 2 is about the company, 3 is about the benefits, and so on and so forth. It becomes very easy for people to look for information if you subscribe to this. Yeah. So that is something which is a place to go to and check out. So what are the key components of an employer brand? Let's just understand that. One is a company culture. Okay. Why is a positive culture very important? Because people want to work in a place which has got positive energy, right? When you are with your friends, you feel very positive. You're happy. You like to enjoy yourself, right? When you want to work in a company, you also want to feel good about where you're working. Therefore, that positive work culture, promotes those kind of feelings and hormones in our body, which helps us to do more, to give more, to learn more. Yeah, so it's very important. So, how is this positive culture possible? When this organization's culture is aligned with the company's values and missions. Okay, that's very important. Imagine if a company says we like to hire young people, and then within the company they do not promote the young people. They only give all the chances to the older people. Then that company's value mission is not aligned to the actions, right? It's like, I'm saying something else and I'm doing something else. That is not correct. And then people say, oh my God, no, but this culture is not matching to what I'm saying, seeing with my eyes, right? So that's very important. Therefore, a strong culture which is aligned will actually attract people with similar values. Okay. For example, you've been born and brought up in an environment where you've been told that we must do the right thing. We must work with integrity, for example, right? And you enter a workplace where you see under the table dealings happening, wrong kind of fudging of data happening, wrong information being passed to the public and others. Then how do you feel? You feel bad. You don't feel good. It's like, जैसे कि एक तार ना एक गलत तार होता है. Then the music does not come properly. So you feel, no, but this is not meeting my values, right? And then you will find it very difficult to work over there. So therefore, company culture is very important. The next important thing is the employee value proposition. Okay. What is an employee value proposition? Why should an employee work with you? What is your proposition? Why should they stay with you? Why should they refer somebody else to come and work with you? All these things form a part of the employee value proposition. You should also make your own value proposition. Okay? So Arjun spoke some time back. What is Arjun's value proposition? Then Arjun may say, look, I'm very strong in math. I have very sound reasoning skills. I'm very adaptable. I can work with anywhere in the country or the world. These are all unique to you, right? And therefore, Arjun's employee value proposition is all these things, right? Like that, an organization also needs to have an employee value proposition, which tells me, suppose I want to apply for this company. I said, okay, fine. What will I get if I join this company? Okay. So what kind of benefits, perks, advantages, compensation, or, will I have to work on Saturdays, not work on Saturdays? And can I grow as a female? Will they have opportunities for me to grow, or will they give all the opportunity only to men? So, these are some things that go on in my mind. And how can I know? If I know the employee value proposition of the company, then I feel assured that, yeah, chalo, theek hai, I can work in a place like this. So it's very important. Third thing is, for recruitment and onboarding, a lot of elements of employer branding comes into picture. Okay. And all know how, right? Imagine if you have a great recruitment experience. You all join Chitkara. let's say you had a very nice admission process, then you will always remember that, isn't it? And imagine if you had a terrible experience. You walked into the gate, nobody looked at you, nobody bothered, nobody told you where to go, nobody told you to sit, nobody gave you any ID card, nobody told you what books to look at. Ha, theek hai, aa jao. You know, then how do you feel? You don't feel good about it, right? So therefore, recruitment and onboarding is the first window and door of the organization that tells you, okay, fine, these people are very serious about people. They want to have a good culture and they want to display it, right? So this is something that is very important, that whole positivity and efficiency in the system for a new employee. So recently we ran a survey of new employer joining. Okay. And what we found is we have 7-8 locations where people join. Some locations, the experience was very good. Some locations, it was not good. Same company, same policies, everything same. How is it possible that in some location it was not good and all other locations it was good? That is because the person who's driving that process was not aligned. Then we had to train that person to say that, why it is important to have a good experience for somebody who joins. Please pay attention to it. And after that, it became better. So if you have a good process and people who are sensitive, then it becomes very good. The fourth element of this employer branding is employee engagement. Okay. You can go and write everything in Facebook and LinkedIn and Instagram saying, oh, we are a great company, we are this, we are that, and all that. But, one person writing over there, oh, I don't feel engaged in this company. There is nothing that is holding me to this company. That's enough. It spoils the reputation of the company. So I can write anything about my company, but if my employee is not writing those great things, then it's gone. Nothing else is there. So this is something which we have to remember. If you are genuinely a good company, your employees will feel engaged. How they'll feel engaged? Because you take care of them. One, you are giving them opportunities to learn. You are giving them opportunity to grow. You are giving them opportunity to network. You are giving them opportunity to, experience the technology in that place. When you do all these things, people are feeling very engaged. You have small competitions. You do little celebrations. You recognize people. People feel happy. You don't do anything. Just pay the money at the end of the month. Do you think people will feel recognized and engaged? No way. They will not. Okay? So that's why if you see in LinkedIn and all, many companies are trying different things. Different types of leaves, different type of engagement. Somebody allows a pet day where you can bring your pet to the office. Somebody allows what do you call family day. They ask you to bring your family to work. So why? Is it because companies have no work? No, because they want you to feel that they care for you genuinely. Then, you have this long service awards. If you finish 3 years, they give you an award. If you finish 5 years, they give you an award. They tell you, listen, we are happy to have you with us, and therefore we would like to recognize you. So this is very important to have engagement. And what happens when you have engagement? When I feel so connected with my company, then if there is a problem in the company, there's a crisis in the company, I'll go out of my way to help. और कुछ भी हो जाए इसको तो मैं ठीक करके रहूंगा. चाहे इसके लिए रात 12 बजे तक बैठना पड़े. Or even if I have to stay at night, I am happy to stay because I love my company and I want to do so. Yeah. So this is something very important with regard to engagement. In engagement, you make discretionary efforts. जितना करना वो तो कर ही लेते हैं, but when you are highly engaged, आप उससे भी ज्यादा करने की कोशिश करते हो because that's an ownership that you have. The fifth element of employer branding is internal and external communication. So very important because who you are is how you show yourself. Correct, friends? Who you are is how you show yourself. If you show yourself in poor light, people will understand you like that. If you show yourself with a lot of meaning to your life, people will see you like that. So it is up to you how you want to show. To communicate the right things, communicate the company's value, mission, culture, etc., in a very nice way so that people understand. Again, don't overdo. If you overdo, also people will not like it. Acha, ye to a lot of humbug is there. Andar jaake kuch nahi hai. It's all khali. It should not be like that. Jo kiya hai, talk about that. For example, corporate social responsibility, working with any underprivileged people, giving opportunities to youngsters, freshers, giving a senior leadership role to a woman. These are things that we should talk about. This will encourage a lot of other people, right? So internal and external communication, both are important. Lot of companies make a mistake by not doing internal communication because they say, "Ah, sabko pata hai." No, it is not so. You have to do proper communication in the company. What is your chairman saying? What is your managing director saying? What are some leaders saying? What are mentors saying in the company? How are women feeling in the company? How are youngsters feeling in the company? How are entry talent doing? What is the attrition happening? Why are people leaving? Why are people staying? All these things must be communicated effectively inside so that people understand. That's why if you go to great companies, you will see their vision board outside, values. They'll talk about their founder, for example. They talk about some great people. Like I had the privilege to work in IBM. IBM has got a lot of Nobel laureates. There's a complete hall that is dedicated for these Nobel laureates, and all their pictures are put over there. It's known as the Hall of Fame. And when you walk there, you feel a sense of pride, you know. So they can say, "Arey, theek hai, Nobel laureate is there available in the World Wide Web. खोज लो internet पे." नहीं. But there's a sense of pride in the organization to say, we've got so many Nobel laureates who are working in IBM. So, it really makes a difference. My employees feel very happy when they see a news that we have donated something to some charity, or we have gone and done some shramdan with some constituencies. They feel really happy that, my company is doing all these things. Yeah. And then finally, seek for feedback so that you can improve. That's also a very important part of employer branding. Many things that companies do, how does it resonate with people? कि मैंने कर दिया, हो गया, खत्म. It's not like that. हमने करा है कुछ. How are people receiving it? उनको अच्छा लग रहा है, नहीं लग रहा? Are they happy to see this? If an employee does not feel happy about it, then it's really bad. For example, in one of the organizations, when a lot of things were being put up, all the items were about men. They never put any woman's picture anywhere. One of the employee commented, saying that, "Do all good things happen only with men in this company? How come you're not showcasing anybody else?" And then, it was an eye-opener. अरे हमने बहुत बड़ी गलती कर दी. We have to be inclusive. When we say my value is to be inclusive, but I'm not showing anybody else, so then I'm not inclusive, right? So it makes it's very contradictory. So you have to be very open to feedback. Only people who care for you will give you feedback. Okay, my friends, remember this. This is my learning in life. जो आपके बारे सोचते हैं, only they will give you feedback. रास्ते पे जाने वाले बंदे को कोई नहीं रोक के feedback देता है. They will give feedback only for the person that they care and who is important in their life. So we have to take that feedback very positively. Okay. I'll just move ahead a little bit. There are a lot of studies. Don't read too much. I'm going to leave it. But some of you who are academically inclined to research further, there are some very, very good papers that have been published on this. Okay, how it helps in attracting top talent. So there's a comprehensive study found in this Journal of Brand Management. As you can see there, a lot of strategies are discussed in that on how to do offline and online branding. You can look at that. Then Journal of Business Research has done some very, very good article on captivating company dimensions of attractiveness in employer branding. Serious research is being done in this area. And then so on and so forth. I will send. I'll give you one little example. I used to work with this company called Mars International. Mars International, as you know, produces Snickers chocolate, then Mars pet food, Pedigree, Royal Canin, Mars chocolates, Galaxy chocolates, and all of this. It's and also a Wrigley gum. Very internationally known company, $34 billion revenue, everything. But one day, there was a very, there's a very not so nice article that was published about this company. And they gave a lot of wrong information in that. Then the company saw this. It is not a listed company, it's a privately held company. Then they got worried, saying, what is this? This is all false information. And then they called up this person to say, hey, how did you write things like that? And then they were saying, well, we didn't know what to do. We approached you people several times for doing an interview, but you did not want to do. And we have a right to know about your company, even if you're not a listed company. And you have an obligation to tell us what you're doing inside, because you operate in this ecosystem. You are not isolated. So you have to tell. Since you are not doing any of this, we had no option but to do this. So think about this. You don't have the privilege as a company to say that I will do what I want, but nobody should talk to me on this. ऐसा नहीं होता. आप listed company हो तो ज़्यादा responsibility होती है, because everybody has to know what you're up to. आप listed नहीं भी हो, you are using the resources of the world, and you are supplying a product which is being used by everybody. Chocolates are being eaten by everybody. Pet food is eaten by so many, pets. So how can you say that I'm not going to be answerable to anybody? After that, the company realized how important it is to communicate with the external stakeholders. And it's a great company. It's a great organization doing wonderful things. And when they started talking about it, the world realized how much can be done in the area of sustainability, ESG, environment, cleanliness, water positive. So many initiatives that they were doing which nobody knew. And in today's world, my friends, if you're not collaborative, if you're not sharing, if you're not doing these things with the right spirit and making the planet a better planet to live in, then you don't have any right to be there. And that's why it's important to share. So you just think of it for a minute. A $34 billion company did not want to talk to anybody. And then they were forced to start talking to people and then explaining what they were doing. Then they went for a lot of best place to work contests and this, so where you have to share information, right? So they did all that, and everywhere consistently, year after year, they keep getting the best employer award because they have such fantastic practices in them. So each time, if you think that you can get away by saying, "Mujhe nahi karna kuch, main kyun karu?" It doesn't work like that. ठीक है? So today, even personal branding is very important. So organizations ko to karna hi padega in any case. So I'll just move on. I think I have another 15, 20 minutes, Professor. Dr. Varun, is that right?
Yes, ma'am.
Yeah. So, so employer branding, there's a little framework I have put there. What does it take for you? What are the things you should be looking at and paying attention to? Okay. So if you see here, there are some key considerations for a successful employer branding on social media. Okay. One is your reputation. You need to guard it. Okay. You can't put something and go to sleep. You have to monitor the responses. Sometimes people write really bad responses. You need to monitor, go back, check with them what is happening to ensure that that misunderstanding is gone. You have to be authentic. As I said, what you don't do, you cannot put there. Huh? Because somebody will go, your own employee will go and say कि ये सब झूठ है, ये ऐसे ही लिखते हैं यहाँ पर. ऐसी बातें कभी नहीं आनी चाहिए, which you cannot protect. So be authentic, very important. Third thing is consistency. Yes.
मैम जैसे कि आप बता रहे थे कि जैसे बेस्ट प्लेस टू वर्क और ये हेल्दी एनवायरनमेंट, अगर कंपनी जैसे रिस्पॉन्सेज अगर हम देते हैं, अगर फीडबैक देते हैं, जैसे वेबसाइट्स बताई हैं आपने, तो आर यू रियली बिलीव दैट दीस फीडबैक्स आर रियली ऑथेंटिक, और लाइक द पर्सन इज लाइक
बिल्कुल.
अगर
Because
कोई
नहीं,
फीडबैक
अर्जुन इस सॉरी
गलत दी है या नेगेटिव फीडबैक देता है कोई, तो आई थिंक लाइक मैंने तो ऐसे कभी किया नहीं कि लाइक मतलब कुछ बैकफायर होता होगा फिर उसके ऊपर, वो इस डर के मारे फिर वो जो इंडिविजुअल है वो फीडबैक ना भी दे, ऐसा भी साइकोलॉजी पॉइंट ऑफ व्यू से.
या सो एक चीज ऐसा होता है कि आजकल एलाबाइज करके भी लोग फीडबैक दे देते हैं. डायरेक्ट ना हो, नाम ना निकले, बट फीडबैक दे देते हैं. ठीक है, वेबसाइट में जाके दे देंगे. ये इससे आप बराबर ट्रेस कर पाते हो कि नहीं, वो इट्स वेरी डिफिकल्ट. ठीक है, बट मोर देन दैट अर्जुन, मेरा बोलने का ये है कि क्यों कोई दे रहा है इस टाइप का फीडबैक. दैट इज मोर इम्पोर्टेंट फॉर द कंपनी टू थिंक कि हमने ऐसी क्या चीज लिख दी वहां पर जो लोग को पसंद नहीं आया, यानी कि somebody is unhappy with it, right? So it is very important for the company to understand what is happening. And if you are authentic, if you are putting the right thing up, then nobody will come and speak rubbish. And sometimes when some people are troublemakers, then you have to just remove them from the website. You have to block them so that they don't act smart. But if an employee is saying, then, I mean, as a head of HR, I will listen to that. For example, in LinkedIn, I got on one day, एक मेरा एम्प्लॉई, सीनियर एम्प्लॉई, ओपन टू वर्क का वो होता है ना, बैनर लगा के रखा हुआ, तो ओपन टू वर्क. तो आई वाज वेरी सरप्राइज्ड. ये ओपनली ही इज सेइंग आई एम ओपन टू वर्क, ही इज वर्किंग हियर. ऐसे कैसे हो रहा है? देन आई रीच्ड आउट टू हिम. आई सेड, बाबा, आई हैव सीन यू पुट लाइक दिस स्टेटस, क्या हो रहा है बताओ मेरे को. Then he came out saying that no, I'm having a very tough time with my manager and I'm not able to work with him. Ye, wo, everything, it came out. So you see, sometimes they're not able to tell inside, but they're putting it out in the open. So that's why internal communication exercise is very, very important. कि अपना बंदा बाहर जाके बात ना करे, जो भी है अंदर में आप करो. टॉक घर में जितनी भी लड़ाइयां करनी कर लो, but keep it inside. Don't go out in the social media and start talking about it. So so कभी-कभी, yes, you're right कि कुछ लोग ऐसे ही करते हैं, मतलब बदमाशी के लिए. And by the way, it's a competitive world, Arjun and everybody else. इस competition में किसी और को नीचे खींचने के लिए they will do anything. ये अभी नहीं, it is going on for years. Back then, when there was no social media, when people used to go for bidding, for getting sales, I know that people used to bribe the hotel staff to enter that person's room and open the file and see what is the pricing bid they are putting. Okay? Big companies, people used to have this problem. That's why we had put rules that time saying that if you're stepping out of a hotel, ensure that all your belongings are kept in lock and key. Documents, official documents are kept in the locker so that nobody can get access to it. Otherwise, you leave everything on the table and go, somebody will go and check it. So, ऐसे mischief करने वाले have always been there. And this is a competitive world, let's face it. Okay? And not all competitions are very sophisticated like BMW and Benz. You must have seen those ads. They keep pulling each other's legs, but in a very nice way. ऐसा नहीं होता सब जगह, लोग काफी क्रूड भी हो जाते हैं. We have to be little careful. So that's what I'm saying. Social media में जब जितना आप अच्छा लगा सकते हो, there is something which will come back to you and bite you also. That's also a big problem. But that's why somebody has to monitor very closely and ensure that those kind of comments are not going over there. Okay? So this is something which is very important. Then finally, engagement with the community. ये बहुत जरूरी है. If you start working with the community, whatever you do will be seen as very authentic. Like social work hai, bring education for people, drinking water. This is what we do in this company. बहुत सारी चीजें आसपास के विलेज में करते हैं, जैसे सप्लाई ऑफ ड्रिंकिंग वाटर, ओवरहेड टैंकर्स, एजुकेशन फॉर पीपल, बैग्स फॉर स्कूल चिल्ड्रन, this some kind of training for women. We do a lot of dispensary, ये सब लगाते हैं, then people understand कि हाँ, this company cares for people around. Second last one is employee advocacy. If I'm a happy employee in this company, I will tell about this company to everybody. मैं 10 जगह जाके बात करूंगी कंपनी के बारे में, मैं 10 लोगों को रेफर करूंगी कि यू प्लीज कम हियर बिकॉज इट्स अ वेरी ग्रेट कंपनी. सो एम्प्लॉय एडवोकेसी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड वर्सेस दैट सोचो तो बंदा जाता है यार बेकार कंपनी है यार, मैं ही निकलने का सोच रहा हूँ, आप मत जाना उसके अंदर. तो देन यू विल नेवर गेट एनी गुड पीपल. एंड फाइनली आपके वेबसाइट्स, वेदर इंस्टा, ट्विटर, लिंक्डइन, जो भी है, आप कंटेंट अच्छा नहीं डालोगे तो नोबडी विल लुक एट इट. वो फालतू कलर्स, फालतू फॉन्ट, इतना छोटा कि आंख को दिखे ही नहीं. व्हेन यू पुट थिंग्स लाइक दैट नोबडी विल बॉदर. तो ये सारी चीजें वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट इन द सोशल मीडिया. सोशल मीडिया में एक यू हैव टू अट्रैक्ट द आईबॉल्स, और वो ऐसे कुछ 4-5 चीज लिख के छोड़ दो तो नहीं आता है. यू हैव टू प्रेजेंट इट इन अ नाइस मैनर. So that's very important. Okay. This is the online. Offline, again, nothing very different. Employer branding is as important offline as online. In fact, offline is more because आप लोगों को देखते हो, आप उनकी feeling समझते हो. You can see on their face how they are feeling. So it's very important to give them a very tangible experience. When you engage with them, give them a nice, authentic, tangible experience, real time, and then they feel happy. There should be spontaneous interactions. Suddenly, when you hear Anand Mahindra from Mahindra and Mahindra, he keeps putting out Twitters, meeting people. Suddenly, he went and recognized this boy who won chess tournament. Usko bula ke felicitate kiya. It has to be spontaneous. अरे यार अभी हुआ, let me do something right now. ये नहीं कि कल 1 साल के बाद में कुछ किया. Immediately when you do, people remember it. ठीक है? Like your Amol ads. Immediately when something happens, the ad comes very relevant to the context. So it should be very spontaneous. Third is again employee advocacy. अब मैं अभी कोई forum में जाती हूँ, I start by saying, oh, my company is doing this. Then people know about it. So it is very effective branding. Building good reliable networks, अच्छे industry bodies के साथ, social work bodies के साथ. When you start networking, then they talk more. Oh, by the way, this company is doing like this. So that's very important. Tailored communication, what does it mean? You have to decide what to put in the social media, what not to put. It's like almost crafting your communication outside. ये ऐसा नहीं है कि आप कुछ भी जो मन में आए डाल दो. So you have to be very mindful of what you're putting. As I told you, somebody said, all your pictures are men. You mean to say in this company there are no women? That's a kind of response. So when you put up pictures, be mindful of it. When you put articles, be mindful. If you're inclusive, say this. Okay, it's very important. Then what is the impact on the local community? Like in the online, this is also very important. अब जैसे हमने ये बैग्स दिया बच्चों को, इसको हमने लगाया मीडिया पे, बहुत अच्छा रिस्पॉन्स आया उसका, बिकॉज ऐसे कि चलो दिस कंपनी खाली प्रॉफिट नहीं बनाती है, साथ में दे टेकिंग केयर ऑफ पीपल. सो दैट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. So these are the various social media handles, as you can see. Whatever medium you use, the bottom line, according to me, is only one. Ki you be genuine, authentic, real, and sacha. Very important. This is very, very important. If you are not truthful, so people will not believe. आप चाहे कुछ भी लिख लो, बेस्ट ग्राफिक्स ले आओ, सबसे बढ़िया पिक्चर ले आओ, कुछ भी करो, कोई फर्क नहीं पड़ता है, बिकॉज पीपल से यार ये झूठी कंपनी है, मतलब दे आर जस्ट डूइंग विंडो ड्रेसिंग. सो इट्स वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. एंड फाइनली आई थिंक इट इज नॉट जस्ट वन थिंग विच मैटर्स, इट इज बोथ ऑफलाइन एंड ऑनलाइन दैट मैटर्स. ऐसा नहीं कि आपने सारा कुछ सोशल मीडिया में डाल दिया और फेस टू फेस में कुछ भी नहीं किया, then people will not believe you again. So it's very important, therefore, that you sort of have a nice mix in both these cases. कुछ public forums होंगे, open forums होंगे, वहां भी जाना जरूरी है, और फिर social media भी use करना है. And most importantly, somebody has to monitor आपको मॉनिटर करना बहुत जरूरी है, because you don't know what people are writing. Okay. What I have done now is I've just given you some examples of branding. Okay. For example, General Electric. General Electric company, it's a motor company, as you know. There are a series of advertisements designed to show the company as a digital industrial company. Why is it important to show that? So that it appeals to the young workers with digital skills. इसी आजकल देखो मैकेनिकल काम करने के लिए लोग नहीं आ रहे हैं ज्यादा. They're not wanting to come. सबको चाहिए IT, desk, AC, that kind. So when you position this manufacturing company with digital skills, then people will want to come and join. Young people will want to come and join. Okay, Salesforce.com जो है, Salesforce, it's known as the 1-1-1 philanthropic model. So it says that every employee should give back to the community. Okay, one employee, one cause, one outcome. This is what they have to do. They value their employees' development and growth, and therefore they create a very attractive and caring brand. And आज देखो, lot of youngsters, उनको बहुत पसंद है कि society के लिए कुछ करें. They want to do something. वो किसी न किसी तरीके से they want to contribute for the country. बहुत ज़्यादा you get to see these kind of things, which is absolutely great. So we have to indulge in that. Google, everybody knows about Google. What do they emphasize upon? Innovation, growth opportunity, high impact work. ये क्या हाईलाइट करते हैं जब रिक्रूटमेंट करते हैं कि देखो भाई हम तो 20% टाइम इनको दे देते हैं फॉर डूइंग इनोवेटिव वर्क. अभी किसी ने देखा नहीं सही में है या नहीं, बट अगर सही नहीं होगा तो एम्प्लॉइज लिख देंगे वहां पर, तो सही होगा. दैट इज व्हाई इट इज देयर. ओके, so they have an open inclusive work environment and lot of pictures come. वो सैलून है कंपनी के अंदर, पेट रखने की जगह है, and then they have some nice gyms, ये वो whatever, so they show all these things to say कि very good. अच्छा, by the way, थोड़ा सा just for a little humor I will tell you, any company which gives so many things, मैं नहीं जाऊंगी वहां, because what they are trying to tell you is कि हम सब कुछ तुम्हारा यही ख्याल करेंगे, तुम घर मत जाना बिल्कुल. ओके, सो ऐसा भी एक ट्रैप होता है, बट आई एम नथिंग अगेंस्ट गूगल, बट यू ऑल्सो हैव टू डिसाइड कि वेयर यू वांट टू ड्रॉ द लाइन. आप सैलून के लिए तो कम से कम बाहर जाओ, बाहर का हवा तो खाओ, वो भी कंपनी के अंदर. दैट इज नॉट डन, right? So sometimes these are little traps, but I think it's a great company. They're doing a lot of innovative work, but this is just on a lighter side. Okay. Then if you see Apple, again, fabulous company. What does it say? It says it focuses on innovation, creativity, and high standards. Steve Jobs, who was the architect of this company, was a very short-tempered person, and he always worked for perfection. And because of that, this company is so great today. इनका जो भी काम देखो आप, nearly perfect रहता है. Okay, edges देखो phone का, the look and feel of it, the size to hold, the features kept hey. So, it is now synonymous with a great quality design innovation, and lastly also a bit of secrecy. They don't tell you what they do to bring that. So many companies are trying to copy them, but they can't quite copy the full thing. Okay. I had the pleasure of visiting the Coca-Cola Museum at Atlanta some time back. And you know how they have built their brand? It is amazing. They actually tell you that formula was there. They have created a vault, तिजोरी टाइप का, इसके अंदर रखा जाता था इसका पेटेंट, इसके लिए बैंक से लोन मिला इनको फलाना 1800 में. Then this patent was not given to anybody. वो इतना mystery, इतना secrecy they build कि आप you are reading it like a story. अरे यार अब क्या हुआ, उसके बाद क्या हुआ, उसके बाद क्या हुआ, you get so curious to understand. ये भी एक art है for a company to create its brand. So what they are trying to say is Coke is not ऐसा वैसा drink. It's a very well thought out, patented drink. Patent for that formula, they got a bank loan of X thousands and thousands of dollars. So they create a mystery around it. That also helps in doing the branding. So Apple also does that. Netflix, आप सब देखते ही होंगे इसमें. They give you many offers. In the US, they give you some unlimited vacation, non-face-to-face environment. They expect employees to behave like adults and produce great work. All these things are for the employees of Netflix. And that's why when you look at Netflix, the work is great, smooth, all the features are fantastic, and you feel like going back to it again and again and again because of the experience. And that experience comes because the employees are treated like that. It's very important. Starbucks, again. Starbucks emphasizes a strong culture and values. And there are many stories of Starbucks, how the servers, the people who serve have taken a lot of ownership of the company. And there's little designs they make on top, flower के वैसा वगैरह. Coffee is a coffee, बना के दे दो, क्या फर्क पड़ता है? पर उसको इतना care, they'll create a design. और साथ में अभी जैसे in India now they have started giving good, जैगरी दे रहे हैं. Health लोग, people are more conscious of health, sugar नहीं खाना चाहते हैं, तो Starbucks ने अब जैगरी का sachets भी देना शुरू कर दिया. See, it is all about brand, yeah, how they treat customers. Their brand says value customers, so they will do anything to value customers. Unilever, Hindustan Lever, Unilever is the parent company. It focuses on sustainability and impact of the employer. कोई भी चीज वो ऐसे नहीं बनाते हैं जिससे environment पे भारी पड़े. They will not do anything like that. So this is very important. Come closer home, we'll talk about some Indian companies which are also doing some great work. TCS, largest employers, and is renowned for its employee-friendly policies, lot of learning and development, emphasis on ethical work, transparency in work. छुपाने वाली काम नहीं होते हैं. So these are the things that they do, and that is why it's a stable company going on for years and years, right? Infosys, again, lead innovator in tech industry, employer of choice, again, commitment to learning and development, ethical values, etc. Wipro, highly inclusive work environment, diverse work environment, strong focus on sustainability, ethics, and corporate social responsibility. हजारों stories हैं अजीम प्रेमजी सर के बारे में, how he treats his workplace. वो जाते जाते अगर कहीं पंखा वंखा चलता है तो ऑफ करके जाते हैं. वो कहीं कोई भी चीज को मतलब ऐसे ही खुला छोड़ते नहीं है. They ensure that everything is clean and kept over there. And this is a very big quality of the founder. And I used to work in Mars, as I told you. Mars में there are no office boys. Okay, there are no office boys. आपको खुद अपना चाय कॉफी लेना पड़ता है, और आप जब खाना खाते हो तो आपको रिंस करके प्लेट डिश वॉशर में रखना पड़ता है, so that the dishwasher can work. So सारा कुछ हम खुद ही करते हैं. And जितना भी सीनियर हो, if the टेबल के ऊपर वो चॉकलेट्स का रैपर्स वगैरह छोड़ के या टी कप छोड़ते हैं, तो चाहे जो भी हो who enters next, they will go and clean it. Then when you see that, तो इतना बुरा लगता है हमको कि अरे हमने कैसे छोड़ दिया. अगली बार से इट्स अ लेसन कि हम कभी कोई चीज को वहां छोड़ के नहीं आएंगे. हमको जैसे अपने घर में साफ रखना उसी तरह वहां भी रखना है. तो दिस इज अ कल्चर एंड दैट्स अ ब्रांड. So Wipro like companies also have a very strong brand like this because of Azim Premji's style of management. Again, many more you will have, but these are important for the Indian context. That's why I'm telling you. HCL Technology, ideapreneurship. They are very strong in promoting ideas, and they can go to any level to pick up an idea. They don't have hierarchies on that. And again, critical thinking, very important. Entrepreneurial spirit, very important. They tell everybody should think like not just one person. Reliance, everybody knows about this. Dynamic work environment, diverse business ventures, and huge opportunity for career growth. कोई बंदा अगर Reliance ज्वाइन करना चाहता है, तो उसको if he gets selected over there, so they have a fabulous prospect of growing. And agar you are doing well, then they will never let you go. They'll keep giving you bigger and bigger opportunities, and they pay you fabulously, much more than anybody else. But they expect a return also like that. Yeah. L&T, great company, steady company, growing and growing and growing like anything. They don't pay too much, by the way, compared to many others. But it's a fabulous company because of the opportunities. How many times you will get those huge opportunities? Small company can never give you. When you do a huge task like this, आपको इतना experience मिलता है. इसके बाद तो बंदा खुद अपना कंपनी लगा ले, इतना ज्यादा एक्सपीरियंस आपको मिलता है. सो यू नो इनकी बात ही कुछ और है, तो इनका स्केल इज अनबिलीवेबल, राइट? दिस इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. सो स्ट्रेस, सेफ्टी, इंटेग्रिटी, कमिटमेंट, दिस आर ऑल वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट फॉर देम. एंड आप देखो, आमतौर पे वहां पर जो बंदा ज्वाइन करता है वो कभी छोड़ता नहीं है. वो सैलरी के लिए नहीं छोड़ेगा, कुछ भी नहीं छोड़ेगा, वो चलते रहता है. यू नो, दे टेक केयर ऑफ पीपल. Godrej, we all are aware, very, very great company, vibrant culture, commitment to sustainability, diversity, and inclusion. They were one of the earliest manufacturing companies to give, leeway to LGBTQ for getting them into work. So it's not easy, but they did all these things. And they always end up attracting passionate people who want to work over there. Initially, people used to say only Parsis get a chance. That is not true. I have seen that organization. They give an opportunity to anyone who's willing to work passionately, because for them, passion is very important. Adi Godrej, the chairman now, and his wife Parmeshwar Godrej, she is no more, I think, but they have been very passionate in promoting this entrepreneurial spirit in people. So these are examples closer home of what has been happening. So thank you very much for this opportunity for me to take you through this presentation.
Thank you,
So
ma'am.
I'm going to stop now. Yeah.
And I believe the learners are there for just next 2 minutes. If you have any query or if you want to ask anything, ma'am is available. So any learner, if he or she has any query.